Hi everyone, how you doing today? Wow, thank you so much for joining us on this adventure on learning what is a World Cup. And this is Reading with Grace. We're reading with Grace. I show you the definitions. This is Reading with Grace. And then on the back side of it, which I just showed you a different page, but this is Reading with Grace. We read with goodwill, respect, accountability, comprehension, edification. And then on the back side, which I showed you backside of a different page, but this is the definition, what it means to read with grace. And these definitions are from dictionary.com. Goodwill means friendly disposition, benevolence, kindness, respect, means esteem for or a sense of the worth or excellence of a person or personal quality or ability or something considered as a manifestation of a personal quality or ability, accountability or accountable, subject to the obligation to report, explain, or justify something, responsible, answerable, comprehension or comprehend, to understand the nature or meaning of, grasp with the mind. And then edification, edifying means instructive or beneficial, especially morally or spiritually. So we want to advocate all those different things, reading with grace. So today we are reading chapter 2 of the book I showed you previously. What is the World Cup that is going on today in our city, in our state, in our country? We're having some matches here in Atlanta, Georgia, but they're all around the world. And today, look here, Sam. This is Sam. Sam is our reading buddy, but Sam has a friend with him who's visiting him for the summer. This is Eddie. Eddie is from Canada. He's from Montreal, Canada, and he came with his mom and dad and family to visit Sam. And they are going to be our reading buddies today. Sam and Eddie is here with us today in reading about what is a World Cup. So, chapter 2 is titled Italian Winning Streak, 1934 to 1938. 32 countries applied for the next World Cup, and 16 got in. Italy was picked to host, but then Uruguay refused to participate. The country was still upset that Italy hadn't played in their World Cup, so for spite, they withdrew. Uruguay wasn't the only country unhappy about the choice of Italy. At that time, the country was ruled by a terrible dictator, Benito Mussolini. Many feared that Mussolini would use the World Cup to pronounce himself as leader of Italy. Sweden made a bid to host, but in the end, it appeared that Italy was best equipped to host the tournament. Now, Canada, as you know, is a country above United States of America. It's a very friendly country. United States and Canada has great relationship. And this is Sam, as you know, next to Eddie. And Sam and Eddie have been playing with each other. They're really enjoying the summer. They're going out. They've even been playing soccer. Have you been playing soccer with your family or maybe with some friends in your neighborhood? So let's continue reading about what's going to happen in this Italian winning streak from the book. The first matches began on May 27th in 8 cities in Italy, with the final held on June the 10th in Rome between Czechoslovakia and Italy. Mussolini was there. Czechoslovakia scored their first goal, and the Italian fans grew nervous and angry. Oh my gosh. Mussolini just sat in the stands in silence, staring at the players on the pitch. Now, this is a little history about Benito Mussolini. Mussolini was born on July 29th, 1883, in Prepapio, Italy. So, Prepapio, Italy is the name of the place where Mussolini was born. After graduating from school, Mussolini became involved in politics. A few times he was jailed for protesting against the government. In 1919, he started his own political party called the Fascist Party. Under fascism, the government has all the power and individuals have none. Isn't that amazing? Wow, I'm talking to Sam and Eddie as I'm talking with you as we're reading this book together, how some individuals can do some things that are not very good for people. Continue reading about the history of Mussolini. In 1922, Mussolini took over Italy's government. No one could question his power. In 1939, when World War II broke out in Europe, Italy was on the side of the Nazis. Italy fought against the United States as well as other countries called the Allies. Allies are usually friends of the countries and they work together. In September 1943, Italy surrendered to the Allies. On April the 28th, 1945, Mussolini was executed. So the Allies countries, Italy fought against the United States as well as other countries called the Allies. So these was a series of countries that were working together, and so let's continue about this soccer information in the book. Some say Mussolini had told the Italian coach that he would not stand for a loss. Wow. In the 81st minute, Raimondo Orsi took a shot and goal! A goal! And in the first 5 minutes of overtime play, Italy's Angelo Scabio shot the winning goal. Once again, the host team had won the World Cup. 4 years later, the World Cup was held in France because, every 4 years, the World Cup is held in a particular country. Once the participating nations were decided, teams competed for one of the 16 finalist slots. Austria was among them. The only problem was that by June 1938, Austria no longer existed as a country. Isn't that amazing? Austria no longer existed as a country in June of 1938. It had been invaded and unified with Germany. As a result of this, Austria's best soccer players were supposed to play for Germany. But one of the top Austrian players, Matthias Sindelar, refused. So this particular soccer player refused to play because now Austria was part of Germany. And he was Austrian and he didn't agree with the Austrian country being part of Germany. Again, it was a question of politics. Sindelar did not support Germany's awful leader, Adolf Hitler. Now we're going to read a little bit of history, Sam and Eddie, and also you watching and listening or reading this book together about Adolf Hitler. In 1933, Adolf Hitler was appointed Chancellor of Germany. One of Hitler's idols was Benito Mussolini, and like him, Hitler made a successful grab for power becoming the Führer. Führer is a German word that means leader. Hitler's dream was to rule all of Egypt. In 1939, World War II began after he invaded Poland. Hitler also hated the Jewish people so much that he wanted to have them all killed. He forced the Jews into concentration camps where 6 million were exterminated, along with 6 million other people who were Hitler's enemies. On April 30th, 1945, just as Germany's defeat was certain, Adolf Hitler committed suicide. Now we're going to continue reading about the soccer match and what happened in the soccer situation. The German team went without Sindelar. Less than a year later, he was found dead. Some think he was killed for his political beliefs. Wasn't that amazing? Isn't that terrible that was found dead a year later, and he was probably, some think that he was killed for his political beliefs. Germany still had a strong team even without Sindelar, and this pleased Hitler. But Mussolini was not about to let Hitler's team win the World Cup. According to legend, Mussolini sent the Italian team a very short but clear message, quote, "Win or die." This is what Mussolini's message to the Italian soccer team. Some thought this message simply meant for the team to do their best, but others thought Mussolini wasn't kidding. If the team lost, they would be killed. Oh, how awful, how terrible. In any case, Germany was out of the tournament easily or early, losing to Switzerland 4-2. Even though a Swiss player accidentally scored a goal for the Germans, the Swiss scored 4 for themselves to put the German team away. Italy barreled through the competition, but not without some unusual moments. In the semi-final match against Brazil, Italy's forward, Giuseppe Meazza, was setting up to take a penalty shot when his shorts fell down. Oh my gosh, how terrible. His shorts fell down when he was about to take a penalty shot. Keeping his cool, Meazza hiked up his shorts and knocked the ball into the net. In the final match against Hungary, Italy won 4-2. After the game, the Hungarian goalkeeper, who had apparently heard the story of Mussolini's threat to the Italian team, reportedly said, quote, "We may have lost the match, but we have saved 11 lives," close quote. Little did he know that starting in a year, many more lives would be lost in World War II. Lives of fans and players. And no one knew that the world would have to wait 12 years for another World Cup match. Wow, isn't that amazing, Sam and Eddie? And all of you who are reading the book and listen to the book with us, that's terrible. They had to wait 12 years for another World Cup due to the World War II. So we want to thank you all watching and listening to Reading with Grace, because we are learning history about soccer, what is a soccer cup, and all the other people involved in the soccer. So we want to thank you, and we hope you have a wonderful, wonderful, happy, and healthy reading with you, your friends, and family. Thank you.